Thank you so much. A lot of wonderful information.
Sure.
And my good friend here shared some wonderful news about Billy Graham receiving the Catholic sacrament before he died. And we
Billy
know
Graham?
that Billy Graham, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And Mr. Rogers. So my question is this. Mr. Rogers, who good friends with Archabbot Nowicki, before he died, Presbyterian minister, before he dies, he calls Archabbot Nowicki to be with him. They were very close. Fred was planning to move to St. Vincent. He had been praying with the monks. So he clearly showed an interest in Catholicism. But he had stomach cancer and he was heavily medicated. So the Archabbot went through his wife, Joanne, who was a Presbyterian, and got her permission to give him the final sacraments. So my question, according to what you're saying with the Catholic theology, is that Jesus Christ is the one that acts through the sacraments. It's not if Fred's not conscious or whatever.
Right.
So I'm finding a lot of Catholics actually are struggling with the fact that Fred very possibly became a Catholic right there by virtue of receiving the sacrament. I was wondering if you had any thoughts.
In terms of Billy Graham or Fred Rogers, I don't know. I know you can't talk to Archabbot Nowicki because he's gone to his reward.
Well, he spoke about it.
Okay, but I don't know what he said about it. So I don't know what was in their minds and hearts about receiving the sacraments, how they did that. Did they say, I want to be Catholic? I brought my uncle into the Catholic Church on his deathbed. But it was because he said, I believe in everything Catholic, and I want to be in communion with the Church.
Well, I'm saying like Archabbot was best friends with Fred Rogers. They had a long, long relationship.
Right.
They went on mission trips together.
Right.
So I would have thought they would have probably discussed this, especially because Fred was diagnosed with incurable cancer, and he had...
But I don't know that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
And I have friends who are not Catholic for years and years and years, and I don't think they're going to become Catholic because of our friendship. Our friendship is another reality.
Would you give them last rites knowing that?
I would talk to them, and I would... because, look, here's the other thing about Catholic theology. We're bound by the sacraments. God is not bound by the sacraments. So he can bring someone to himself without their having received the sacraments, okay? So that means, because if we followed the thing about, like, if you receive Catholic sacraments, it's the only way to get to heaven, that's not true. If you are a good person and you live according to your conscience, you too can go to heaven. It's like saying, like Buddhists can't go to heaven. The Church never said that. That's not true, right? It is through the auspices of the Church, because it is the body of Christ, that salvation comes into the world. But God isn't bound by that. So God can bring people to himself in other ways. So I don't know. I would have to have a conversation with the person. I think if they're close to death, some people are close to death will say, I do not want to be Catholic, right? I don't think that means that they don't go to heaven. I think that they're exercising their will according to their conscience. And however God uses that, that's up to God, not up to the bishop.
But you wouldn't give him the sacraments. If he says, I don't want to be Catholic, would you give him the last rites?
Probably not. Because God is not bound by that. He can do this in other ways. The sacraments are extremely important. That's not to disregard the sacraments in any way. Any other questions?
I got one.
Yes.
About the